You want to go for a walk? Tomorrow I'm heading out on another bikepacking adventure, this time with just Sean and Paul. We're going to be doing a road ride this time, 84 miles around the Peak District. It's a route I found in a book called Great British Bike Rides by Dave Barter, and I've been wanting to do this route for quite a few years now. The route's based on a discontinued British cycling event and promises to take in some of the best scenery and climbs in the Peak District. The route starts at Hope, and we're going to be cycling it over 2 days, stopping in Hayfield at campsite overnight. And once again, the weather looks like it's going to be amazing. Well, just getting ready for day one of our mini tour of the Peak District bikepacking adventure. Today we'll be riding 44 miles from Hope to Hayfield, driving to Hope and parking at a campsite I've stayed at loads of times before. Just got to wait for Sean to turn up, then go and pick up Paul. Morning. Hey, you've got another red shirt.
Still in the red team.
Yeah. So what do we think? Are we ready for this ride? Be easy, won't it, Paul? Here we go. Let the pain begin. What a beautiful day. Five miles in, and we've just been on busy roads. Andy, you would not like this. I feel like I'm channeling your road rage. Hopefully we get off onto a side road soon. Finally off the main road. And look at that view. Wow. Now this is what the Peak District is great for. Almost makes the hills worthwhile. Okay, Paul?
Yeah.
You're suffering a bit. It's not a race, is it? Let's remember.
Always a race.
We've done 7 miles, 39 to go. But I like to think of that as 30, really.
Yeah.
And that's only 18 till lunch. What a view. Glorious road this is. Woohoo! That peacock doesn't know that's private property. Well, that climb up to that last hill we just came down was quite gentle, so didn't really feel it too much, but now we're on a bit bigger climb. So I just have to remind myself, use a low gear and take my time, because all this weight on the bike makes a big difference. It's a beautiful day and my legs are feeling really good, so I'm just enjoying being on the bike. And that is why we love the hills. We do love the hills, don't we, Sean?
So I prefer the hills to Norfolk.
Yeah.
I love going downhill.
Yeah. But if we didn't have hills, we wouldn't have views.
No.
And we wouldn't be fit.
This is better than Norfolk.
Well, this is proper steep, this is. Oh boy. This hill goes on and on and on, I can see. It goes for miles. 32 miles to go. Look at that view. And this hill is utterly brutal. Please tell me it's nearly the top.
No, just a few inches more and that will be drive down. For another few hundred yards.
Made it. Come on, Sean. Come on, Paul. Nearly there. What do we think to that hill then, boys?
Very steep.
Yeah.
I just need 2 more lower gears, I think.
Yeah, we came down here on last year's Peak District trip, and this is where Paul stole my flip-flop and then pretended I'd lost it. And then we stayed in a campsite not too far from here. Well, this is a bit busier than I would like. Oh, thank goodness for that. It's 27 miles to go. Holme Firth is our goal for lunch, I think, which should be sometime in the next 3 or 4 miles maybe. Well, the book I got this from is supposed to be all road riding, so I feel like something's gone wrong with my route now. because this is definitely not something you would do on a road bike. I do remember this from day 2 of our ride last year. I think we came up here before we even had breakfast on the second day, all in search of the ultimate bacon sandwich. That was Holme Firth. Fantastic sandwich just before Holme Firth. Got 18 miles to go, means we've done 27. So today's route contains one really nasty climb, 4 miles long, and I think this might be it. Whew, steep already. Stomach's rumbling already, so cherry bakewell time. I think this might be Holme Moss, which I was warned about. Paul's already said he's going to walk up 4 miles. Look at that stretched out in front of me. Makes me want to cry. Definitely not stopping for a rest. Just stopping to take the view. Honest. I could see, I think, car windows glinting in the sun, which I think means there's a car park, which means that's probably the top, and that mast must mean it's at the top as well. So not much further now. There's Sean, and absolutely no sign of Paul. How's it going?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's a good one, yeah.
Last stretch. This hill's nearly broken me. Well, look at that view. Nearly at the top now. It's so hot, I'm shivering. Well, we made it to the top. I won, Sean second, and absolutely no sign of Paul whatsoever. I'm sure he's fine. Here he is. Yeah, well done, you alright?
It's a slight incline.
Yeah, a bit of an incline, yeah. Well, this is the highest point for the day. Sean said it's 17,090 feet above sea level. And 15 miles to go to the campsite. Probably downhill for a little while at least now. Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow. There's more, it just goes on and on and on. $10 miles to go now, and 2 decent climbs left. This is hill number 1 of 2, I think. Yet another stunner. Just getting to the top of what I think is the next to last hill. Okay, this is a good time to remind you to click the like button down below, get this channel noticed by YouTube and suggested to others. Click the subscribe button if you've not already, and you'll get notified when I make new videos, and click the notification bell. And if you leave me a comment down below, I'll definitely reply as soon as I can. Well, nearly at the top of the last significant hill. 4 miles to go till the campsite. It is very hot now. Pretty much at the top now, nearly. Just a little bit to go. Well, that's it. The top of probably the last climb of any significance. Big descent come in, 3.7 miles to go. It's very hot. Got nothing left to drink and I'm very, very thirsty. You alright, Paul?
Just about.
This is Hayfield. Only a mile to the campsite, so if we can find somewhere to eat, we can come back here later, ride the bikes in. Even more tempting option. Yeah, only half a mile away from the campsite and probably on the flat. Success?
Yes, but 6 o'clock though.
So we've got to come at 6?
Yeah.
It's like eating with old age pensioners. Looks like a nice site. Hello. We're booked in Bikepackers. We're hot and we're tired. Quick tour of camp. Really nice campsite. Usual equipment. Right, so just a short walk to the pub from the campsite. Fantastic. Feast for kings after a ride. Paul using the patented bike leaning against stolen chair method. You ready for some pain? Right, we're just setting off on day 2 of the mini Tour de Peak. Today will be 40 miles, just under, back to Hope, where the car's parked. I looked at the profile last night. It looks like the vast majority of the climbing happens in the first half, which means that's going to be tough, but then the second half should be okay. Just going to try and find some breakfast now. Back into Hayfield. It's another beautiful day. Right, lunch acquired. Probably going to be in the middle of nowhere, so probably won't be able to get anything any other time. First hill completed. Repeat after me, Paul. I love hills. Oh, it's not done. Oh, look at that. Bonus, we don't go up there, we go down. Going down means coming back up. Despite drinking tons of water yesterday, I ended up with a terrible cramp last night. I was writhing around on the floor. Paul thought I was having a heart attack. Terrible in my thigh. And today's supposed to be even hotter. It feels really hot already. What a lovely road. Another hill done, another massive downhill, which can only lead to one more thing, another up. This is Whaley Bridge. We came here for a meal on the last tour of the Peak District we did. I was watching a video the other day on YouTube by, I think, Katie Kookaburra, probably pronouncing it wrong. And she was saying, she always tells herself that she loves hills because it's the hills that give her the views, it's the hills that make her fitter, and it's the hills that make her a better rider. I somewhat agree, because I really miss the hills at Norfolk. And I love the views in the Peak District. So I keep trying to tell myself the same thing, that I love hills. I'm not sure I'm believing it. Look at that. That's why we do the hills. Well, someone was driving too fast. Warm enough?
Oh yes, red hot.
Looking at the screen of pain, it looks like we go up for a bit, then down again, and then start the proper climb up to the Cat and Fiddle. And it is so hot. Are we there yet?
Each day we start off and I'm talking about what upgrades I'm going to do to my bike for the next ride. And then towards end of the day, I'm just thinking of putting it on eBay. Get rid of it. I'm coming up motorbike.
And I'm just thinking, when is the next ride, Gareth?
Yeah. Yeah. I usually have a few days of cooling off period, then I'm ready for the next one. We're currently at about 1,000 feet. And we're going up to 1,700 feet, which is about as high as Holme Moss was yesterday. So quite a way to go still yet till the Cat and Fiddle. Right, back down again for a bit and we start climbing again. Oh gosh, look at that up ahead. Hopefully this is the last bit up to the Cat and Fiddle. I was wrong. There's still loads more to climb. We're at 1,300 feet. We've got to get to 1,700 feet. Nearly at the top. I think that's the top up there. Any chance I could get my water refills? Run out and I'm dying. Thank you so much. There it is, the Cat and Fiddle. We just reached the Cat and Fiddle, just had lunch in the shade. Had my nice warm hut pie that's been sitting in my bag since this morning. And now we've got a nice long downhill. Got probably about 20 miles to go. According to the route, we should have most of the climbing for the day done now, but famous last words, I bet that's not the case. Wow, amazing view. So far this second half has mostly been downhill, which is great. I think we might end up near Buxton soon and hopefully find somewhere to buy a drink and top up my water bottles again. Well, we've got about 7 miles to go, so I reckon this must be the last hill. I could be wrong. Well, we've got 7 miles to go. We've just passed Millersdale, and I've looked at the map and this is definitely the last hill, and then it's downhill all the way back to the car. Well, Paul, you're nearly at the top of the last hill. Yeah. What do you think?
Good. No more hills ever.
Yeah, bike's going on eBay tonight. Tides well. Do you want to get a drink? Just that, thanks. Sorry, very tired. Oh, this isn't going to last long.
There's a tiny bit more climbing.
Don't say that. No, there's not.
There is, tiny.
So this is what it's come to. Paul says there's more climbing, it turns out it's 30 feet.
Still more climbing, however way you look at it. And then it's all down.
You freewheel up 30 feet.
Yeah.
This is the start of the long downhill back to the car. Look at that. It's downhill all the way to the car now, Sean. Back where we started. Paul could have waited and done the gate. Always nice to finish the ride together, isn't it, Paul?
Can't resist it, can you?
Yeah, lovely. Can't break tradition. Yeah. Well, last time there was a can waiting for me there. Where is it? Well done, everyone, I should say. What do you think?
Well done,
what was the
Dave.
verdict?
Well done,
It was hard. Like all the time, while you're doing it towards the end, it's horrendous.
Did you think that it was harder than when we did the Tour de Peak District last year? It felt like more climbing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of really hard climbs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Holme Moss yesterday and
Cat and Fiddle today.
Cat and Fiddle today, very hard. Well, great one again, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.